Good morning to you all, and good morning to everyone. I really want to welcome each and every one of you to this session. Today, we will be having another amazing time that we get to just discuss and find out ideas, skills, and new ways on how to reach our success. Today, we'll actually be doing part three of how to be a real success. Part three, how to be a real success. So, what we'll just actually be talking about, we will be talking about attitude. Um, Attitude will be the main attribute that we're actually going to be talking about. And right about now, I'm just waiting for people to join in. And then once they're able to join in, we'll be able to begin. I would like to welcome each and every one of you who's watching from Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. It's really great and it's amazing just to get to have you guys join in. I'm always thankful that you guys take time to actually just be able to join into the meetings. It's really something that I look forward to all the time. And yeah, this is something that I would wake up and do with ease. It's not going to be a struggle for me. It's not going to be um, a tussle because yes, preparing the lessons and being able to get myself ready and every time it's going to take time, and it's going to take most of my time as well in some things that I do, and there's costs that I have to pay for it. But I'm always like, this is something I love, and out of passion, I will do it. So, yes, I am looking forward to the many people we are about to have today. It's 9 a.m. Right here in Kenya. It's a bit chilly, although the sun looks like as if it's about to shine real bright. But yeah, it's quite cold. But yes, I'd like to invite each and every one of you. Um, Today, I can already see we have Docile on. I can see she's trying to get her audio on. Yep. So maybe as she gets her audio on, we can actually just have a later conversation. So, as I was saying, um, we're just trying to find out how to be a real success. Just maybe to recap on the things that we've been talking about, because we're talking about the word real and being able to break it down. So REAL, just being able to break the word real down. And that's where we get to find how truly can you be a real success. So the first thing we're talking about was relationships. That's the R. So we had some relationship rules that we highlighted and listed down on exactly what you'd want to do with people. How do you relate with them? How do you get to know their interests? How do you value them so that they get to understand, okay, fine, with this relationship, if you value me, then I'm going to be able to value the work that you give unto me. And that's really something that's really great. Then number two was equipping people. So how do we equip others in terms of, do we make them feel like as if they're going to just fail, or do we encourage them, or do we give them the momentum for also them to grow themselves? Then how do we actually have teamwork laws? Then we're talking about the Mount Everest. So the why you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, and then what teammates you're going to have. So just those brackets of different things that we're actually having, and being able to enjoy the moment and saying, okay, fine, yes, this is something really interesting, and this is something good that I'd love to actually participate in, or I'd love to take part in. And yeah, it brings the whole um, perspective on how things are done. So today we'll actually be talking about attitude. Um, Attitude is a big attribute to how you want to be able to reach success. Why is it a main attribute? Because the person that you become, the person you portray, who you make others see you as, makes them understand whether they're ready to follow you or they're just ready to, leave. It's that space, because they're looking for a space where also they feel, oh, okay, I can actually be able to be part of this. I can actually be able to um, look at the things that I'm able to do, and have different skills or ambitions, and actually be able to achieve my goals as well. So it's that space whereby each and everyone is trying to find something that they can totally relate with. and being able to relate with that is something that everyone is looking forward to. So if you don't have people that you can actually relate to, it brings a bit of problems, and also there's that space where everyone is wondering, okay, fine, what do I need to do? If you do not take care of your employees, or you're always feeling like as if they can't do what you're doing in another way or in a better way, and that makes them wonder whether they have the opportunity to actually even grow from your space. Are they going to say, okay, fine, I have a growing space for me that I can actually take upon and say, okay, fine, yes, I can actually be able to do it. I can actually want to see something that's really great. So that's the space that you're in. That's the space that everyone is in right now. And how can you be able to do that and continue being able to continue in that manner? Yep. That's exactly what attitude is going to be about. Just it might be brief, short, but it has something that is captivating. Like, what do you look at for? What do you look out for in a person when you want to actually follow them? What do you look out for in a person when when you want them to lead you? What type of character is this that you're looking at for as well? But also you, when you're leading people, how do you portray yourself so that they can say, okay, fine, I'm following someone that's bringing impact into my life. Yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to be like today. Yes, I can see. Okay, Dosil, hi, how are you doing? I'm hoping your audio managed to get through. Hello, Dosil.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm doing well as well. How was your week?
Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Anything interesting? It's been 2 weeks. We didn't meet last week because I had a fearless class.
Yeah.
But how was it? How has been 2 weeks?
Mm, a bit hard, but God is helping.
All right. Okay.
Mm.
How are you doing during this pandemic, by the way?
Just coping away from home. Then I lost my brother, so yeah.
Wow. I'm really sorry about that.
Thank you.
Wow. Was it due to the pandemic?
Not really.
I'm really sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yes. My sincere condolences to you and your family, and may the good Lord comfort you guys in this time of need.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Murphy. Murphy. Mr. Eddie Murphy. Murphy. Can you hear
Hello,
me? Mr. Eddie Murphy, how are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
I am good as well. How's been the 2 weeks? How have you
Yeah,
been?
the 2 weeks have been out, completely out. What?
Mm,
No, really, really sorry. 1 week, I really woke up late, really late. And the other one, I went to see one friend who lost his father in town. So we went a bit early in the morning.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but today I
Wow.
decided to be here on time because I'm feeling 2 weeks.
No worries, no worries. It's still good to have you. Still good to be able to get to have you join in as well, and just yeah, let's have a real conversation. Um,
Yeah,
mm. But how are you doing though during this time?
yeah. I'm just good, chilling, doing my project. Yeah, going slowly with it.
You're about to finish school.
Yeah, but I'm just remaining with biology.
Biology.
Yeah, but I'm doing the senior project right now.
Hmm. I want to ask
I
a
think
question.
we even talked about it last time, like the first time I came in. Yeah, it's even Mr. Onyango who is what overseeing it.
Uh, but I want to ask a question, Murphy. Um, you're doing computer science, isn't it?
I'm doing MIS.
MIS, Management
Yeah.
Information System.
Mm,
How does biology help you as an MIS student?
mm. Okay, so I've already asked that question, but they always say it's a, so you're supposed to know it. You see, the funny
Mhm.
thing is that I did ENV already. I'm doing biology again. I'm like, Jesus. And I do HP, like HP, ENV, and then biology. Come on. Yeah.
I hear you. Dosil, what about you? What do you think? Dosil, you there? Mm, okay. Murphy, just to ask, what makes you think you don't need it?
Um, First of all, I don't know, but I did it already. Like I did it since from three. Imagine right now they should just give me skills that will help me win the future. But biology, nah, I've done it already. Like I did 3 years of biology before.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, I really require skills that I can use now in the future, but I don't count biology as a skill that I can use.
What makes you think it's not a skill you can use?
Yeah, if it was ENV, yeah, I was okay because it's all no, it's no. If it was HPE, it could be okay because it really focuses on first aid. Yeah, first aid it's really essential. But
Mhm.
microbes, we don't go deep. I don't like if they tell me about a microbe, it's even hard for me to identify because I don't have even a microscope there. So I'm not gonna see parts. I'm not gonna see everything about it. Like, come on.
uh, all right,
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Let's welcome Oben. Oben. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine, Alan. And you?
Good. I'm good as well. Good to have you. Good to have you.
Okay.
Um, so just finding out how have you been during this past 2 weeks? Um, Last week we were not able to meet because I had a fearless class. So just to ask, how have you been?
I've been good. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to survive this period, doing nothing apart from online classes and eating.
Okay. And
Eating.
I hope we're not getting and putting on a lot of weight. Huh?
No, 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 no.
Yeah, it can be a very interesting space right now. Uh,
Okay.
all right. Just okay. I was actually asking Murphy. Oben, what are you doing in school? You're doing MIS or computer science?
No, international relations.
Okay, international relations. Okay. So I was asking Oben, um, how is biology going to help you in international relations?
Ah. First of all, we don't do biology.
Okay. What general
So
courses do you do that you
BIL,
feel maybe are not relevant or are not needed?
a general.
You should have some general courses that you do,
Yeah,
right?
we do. We have general courses, but for me, I think all of them are relevant because we do BIL, INS, and rate. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you feel
Biology, HPE, don't do that.
ah. All right. So you feel at least your general courses are okay and they're fine.
Yeah, yeah. But the day they will add biology, HPE, hapana.
Why?
I don't think biology and HPE are relevant for someone who is doing international relations,
What makes you so sure about that?
because how international relations are related to biology? I don't see any relation.
You don't see any relation.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Maybe what if they're just general skills that you needed to know for the time that maybe you're doing your studies.
Yeah, maybe just for that, but they are not needed in our program.
I hear you. So let me ask you a question.
Mm.
Why do you need leadership courses then?
Leadership is important
What makes it so important?
because I'm learning about new skills, how to be a leader. You see, I think even in this that they should replace BIL 112 or even 212 with one course like leadership 111. You see.
All right. I
Mm.
hear you. I understand you. Well, some like I remember as well when I was in Daystar, I did some courses and I didn't understand relevantly how they were going to help.
Like
But
which
I
one?
guess it's for me, I did business, so somehow I didn't understand why business and biology how they related together.
You see.
Yeah. So, but I think it's a space whereby you just need the general skills because with that, then you're able to still have answers that you can actually be able to answer within um, your scope or at least a range whereby you're being asked a question and you're not truly ignorant or blank about it. So that was my understanding and that's how I took it. That's how I was able to actually finish through and I'm like, okay, I understand it's just needed as me learning it. Was probably I don't think I'd have ever learned it. I'd have never showed interest in it as much.
Yeah, okay. I understand. So for general knowledge, they're important because we never know.
That's true. All right, let's welcome on the other person. We have Alex Kazoni. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
How are you
Hi.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am all right as well. How has your 2 weeks been?
Well, kind of busy with all these online classes, but yeah, they're okay.
Okay.
We all missed you.
I know the last class I had a fearless because I'm doing it's a 1-year course. It's called Fearless Institute. Eventually with this, it is to help me as well learn more, gain more skills, and hopefully become an author at the end of it all. So,
Good.
yeah, so by the end of this year, probably I should have a book. Okay, not probably.
Oh,
I should have a book by the end of this year. I should declare these things to happen already.
that's good. That's good, though.
Yes, yes.
Well, good luck in what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Ali Shabani, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us today.
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm all right. For a second, when you put your video, I thought Rick Ross was in the video. I was wondering, when did Rick Ross lose weight?
Yeah, I'm here now.
How are you doing, though?
I'm very fine. I'm very fine.
How's your 2 weeks been?
Quite busy, but very fine. We'll keep up yourself.
Okay, okay. And then how like if you guys if you received my last mail, how was going through that? What was it like? Did it juggle your mind to think of, okay, what would it mean now for me to do this? What did it mean for me to equip others? what does it take for me to actually equip others? Hello.
Sorry, I didn't get what you said. What were you saying?
I'm saying,
Yeah.
for those email I sent the past 2 weeks, the one at least I had given in some work for you guys to just roughly just do it, to be able to have also some time to journal and write what you're thinking and what's coming to mind. So it's that space I'm asking, how was that like? Did it juggle up some memory, or did it juggle up some new ideas? How do you want to equip someone that you're wanting to lead?
Oh.
Anyone can answer. Ali, Dosil, Oben, Murphy, Ratio, Cub, even Alex. Feel free. I can see you unmuted. If you have an answer, please feel free.
On my side,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when I thought about equipping others, I came to realize that once in a while I give my partners, my friends, even my family people opportunity to like express themselves, even when I know they are not quite right in whatever they are arguing about. But I kind of give them opportunity to like express themselves, and I get time to listen to them. And from that point, if I realize that they are really wrong, I take that opportunity to like show them the way, to like lead them and tell them what I think is the right way to do things. So I help them with my knowledge, like my ideas. And as I always say, when I'm giving you an advice, it's up to you to either take it or not take it. But at least on my side, I've done my part by giving you what I believe is the right thing to do. So
Okay.
I think that's a type of equipping them, because I'm giving them my knowledge, what I believe is the right thing to do.
Okay, that's really great. Random question. If you've known me for quite some time, if I was to ask you to help to equip me, how would you equip me?
Well, you are a hot temper guy.
I'm a what?
A hot tempered guy, and you seem to get angry very easily.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I've watched quite a few games you've been playing, and seems
Ali,
like you. Yeah.
Ali, that was 2014. 2014. Yeah? That was 2014, 2015. We're in 2020.
Oh, so you're telling me that you've changed that side of you?
That side used to be called the Rhino side. Nowadays, nah, it's not there.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. So my idea won't work there then. Yeah, but I'm happy to know that you've changed the Rhino side.
Yeah, it had to go. I think with maturity, it had to go.
Okay, that's good.
Let's welcome Ratio, Cub, and Arma. Thank you guys for joining in. Just tell us how your week has been. Actually, the 2 weeks have been. Ratio, Cub, or Arma. Either can start. Okay, Arma, you can start. Okay. Yes.
Hello,
Yes, Arma, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am good as well. How's it been?
I've been okay.
All right.
The week has been okay. Yeah, nothing much to talk about. Yeah, it was just there. Too quiet, a little bit boring, and yeah.
Too quiet.
Yeah.
Nothing to be done. No one to visit.
Well,
Visiting right now.
well, I'm actually doing an online job. Yeah.
Oh wow, amazing.
That is what. Yeah, that is what it is occupying me this week.
Ah.
And yeah.
Wow, that's really great. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Ratio Cobb. I can see Alex. Alex, you want to say something?
No. I'm good.
Ah, okay. Ratio Cobb. It's an interesting name. Ratio Cobb.
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, it's Rafael Kabanza.
Kabanza, really?
Yeah.
I was wondering who's Ratio Cobb. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting name.
It's a special one.
All right. How have you been?
I've been okay.
Oh, okay.
How about you?
I've been okay as well. Thanks for asking.
We missed you last week.
Yeah, last week also I had to attend a class. That class is because I'm still growing. I have not reached there yet. I am still growing, so I need to add value to myself so that I can actually still add value to you guys as well. So I still need to grow as well. So that's where the class comes in. So it usually happens once every month for me. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. All right, guys. As we wait for other people to still join in, I think we can be able to pray and we start. So let me ask, Alex, please pray for us.
Father God, we thank you for this time. We thank you for this morning, for this session. Please bless us and be with us till the end of this session. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. So yes, guys, it's been great. We've been actually going through the series How to Be a Real Success, and we're talking about just 4 things on finding out how to be a real success. And these 4 things were derived from the word real. So the first one we did relationships. The second one we did equipping. Today we'll be talking about attitude. Something that we don't really focus on as much because we look at it and say, as long as I can be able to influence someone, as long as I can be able to do this and that, my attitude doesn't really have to be to play part of it. And yet, funny enough, while I was reading most of these things and even reading through John Maxwell's book, How to Be a Real Success, it's key for you to have a right attitude when you're leading people. So within the book, there's a quote written by Hugh Downs, which says, "A happy person is not a person with a certain set of circumstances, but rather a person with a certain set of attitudes." And I looked at it, and for me, it aroused my mind because I was like, meaning situations that happen in my life are not set to make me happy all the time, but the attitude that I have and portray towards people then gives me the joy, because now people get to either respect me or people get to actually listen to me or follow me. And you don't have to struggle as much as trying to push through things with literally a bad attitude. So another thing is research that was done. Psychologists have found that when people are appraised for promotion, company executives look for certain things in people. So there are just 5 things they actually look for. Number 1 is ambition. So among the attitude things that they look for, just company like executives, when they're looking for something to actually appraise them for promotion, is 1 is ambition. So what are their ambitions in life? How are their dreams towards maybe the company? How are they thinking towards getting to the goals that they need to achieve? Number 2 is the skill sets. They look at the skill sets of this person, and they try to find out, okay, fine, this person is skillful in 1, 2, 3 things, and how are they valuable in our company? How are they valuable to us? So that value to the company, value to the people, value for the growth then becomes a factor that plays in. Then there is 3 attitudes that they then look at after that. That's attitude towards the company. How does this employee take the company? Are they always being able to speak good about it? Are they tarnishing it? Or are they always for the company and not against the company? So what's your attitude towards the company? Are you optimistic about it and not just being pessimistic about it? Then the second attitude is attitude towards the people, meaning the employees that you work with, meaning your supervisors, the executives, or even the ones below you. How is your attitude towards them and that relationship that you have? How does that come along? How does it play along? Then the third attitude that they look at for is attitude towards excessive demands on time and energy. In case maybe they need you to work overtime, what's your attitude towards it? Or in case maybe they ask you, can you maybe spare a Saturday? Maybe you work only Monday to Friday, but then to spare a Saturday, just a few couple hours just to be able to get this done. What's your attitude towards it? How then do you portray yourself to say, okay, fine, it's just a once in a while thing, one-off. How can I be able to get it done? It doesn't really need to be a big deal, or sometimes it doesn't really need to be something that you raise up and be like, hey, that's not it, no part of my contract, or all that. But if it's being overused, then you have the right to speak. But then if it's something like a one-off, how does that happen? So leadership has less to do with position than it does with disposition. So it has less to do with position than it does with disposition, right? So here, the couple of things, like I'll give you just 3 things within the book that I got to just figure out about attitude. The attitude that someone decides to have or portray gives away the way someone will look at things. Why do we say this? There are just 3 things. First is our attitude is a choice. What does it mean for it to be a choice? How I react towards things, how I'm able to accept, or how I'm able to take on different things, it's a choice that I'll make. How I'm able to react to how people are working, or my colleagues, or my executive bosses, that's a choice that I have to make. And most of the time we find that we decide to make the wrong choice, because I'm like, if you're here to work 2 to 5, you come at 2 and then you leave at 5, but I'm here from 8 to 5. Why are you forcing me or giving me so much work to do? Why are you so lazy? And yet maybe there's a different reason why that person is working in that way. So how then do we have our attitude different, so that people can get to understand, okay, these are different choices, these are different circumstances that happen for me to make a choice. Then number 2, our attitude determines our approach to life. If you're a person who has a negative attitude most of the time, then life will actually pull you down, way down to your knees, because it will make you feel like there's nothing that you can do and there is no happiness that you can actually be able to achieve. If you look at the circumstances that we live in right now, if you look at the life sometimes that we live in right now, if we're talking about this life that we live outside here, we face so many problems every time. Every now and then we're living and facing so many problems. But these problems we face is because it's just the norm of the world, and because also the devil is trying to get to you. He's trying to make sure that you as well are put down all the way down to your knees. And it's that space whereby, are you ready to actually kick up and say, you know what, I will not be brought down by this person. I will not be pulled down and made below who are meant to be, because you have the ability to actually rise up above everything. I really love what Paul says in Galatians 2:20, because he gets to understand that the life he lives is not his. And for us, most of the time, we tend to live like as if the life is ours and we have control over it. But what I get to understand is when Paul speaks about the life that is not his and he lives through the Son who died for him on the cross, it makes so much sense. I'll just read it. Galatians 2, but I'll start from 19. Galatians 2:19, for through the law, I died to the law and its demands on me, because salvation is provided through the death and resurrection of Christ, so that I might from now on live to God. So that's a space that now we're living in. It's not that we're living by ourselves, but now we're living to God. And then in 20, he says, I have been crucified with Christ. That is, in him I have shared his crucifixion. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me, right? The life I live now in the body, I live by faith, by adhering to, relying on, completely trusting in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself up for me. So then 21, I do not ignore or nullify the gracious gift of the grace of God, his amazing and merited favor, for it righteously comes through observing the law. Then Christ died needlessly. His suffering and his death, we would have no purpose whatsoever. So what for me I get to understand from this is the life that we live now is not necessarily to say that we have all the control over it. We might have been given the choice to choose right or wrong, but the life that we live is through the Son who died for us on the cross, because he's the one who came, was brought down, and he died for our sins, cleansed us white as snow. Because even on the cross when Christ was dying, he said, Lord, take this cup away from me, but if it is your will, let it be done. That space whereby Christ as well was in that space of noticing that, yes, okay, because it's not for myself, I live for the person who sent me, then let his will be done. And it's that same space. Now we go back into leadership. It's the attitude that you have. So the attitude that you have when you're approaching things, when you're approaching businesses, when you're approaching your work, if you get to understand that it's never just about you, then you get to understand that, then you get to have a different approach to life. Then you get to have a different attitude when you approach life, right? Then the third thing, our attitude can turn our problems into blessings. We're always looking for blessings and always looking for spaces where someone can be like, hey, that's a really good job. Here's maybe 1,000. Oh, here's maybe 2,000. There's a statement that I heard which says, sometimes we're always expecting a miracle, but yet we can also be miracles to someone else. Have you ever thought of that? Because if we remove the aspect, the same way how we're talking about that our attitude different changes our approach to life, if we understand that it's never always about us, and we can also be blessings to someone else, then it gives us the different mindset to know that, oh, okay, if I'm a blessing to someone else and I give freely of myself, all this will be able to return unto me, because Christ is able to fulfill what he said. His promises unto you, he's able to fulfill all of them. So in business as well, if you help someone else today and you maybe help them how to get their business, or you have a business proposal mindset that you can actually help someone grow from it, or you have an MIS problems that can be able to be solved that they need, and you're able to give them all these solutions, you never know, tomorrow they could be the same people that are actually helping you and pulling you to grow to the places that you need to get to. So don't neglect the little relationships or the little partnerships that you get to have. Or maybe you feel like, oh, this person is using me too much, or this person is not giving me value. But imagine them making you grow to reach your maximum potential prepares a pathway for you to receive what you were supposed to expect in life. So that's just how I look at it, and those are just three things on how I look at attitude. And then the major difference between success and unsuccessful people is how they think. This was a thesis done on thinking for a change. So the major difference between successful and unsuccessful people is how you think. It's the mentality. So I love listening to the late Miles Monroe, because he speaks of something very interesting, and I love how he teaches mainly on leadership. There was something he was saying that when you want to compare yourself to leaders sometimes as well, look at, let's say, the animal kingdom. We look at lions and we look at eagles. If you look at a lion, we say a lion is the king of the jungle, isn't it, right? And when we say the lion is the king of the jungle, we get to understand that it's the mentality that makes him the king of the jungle. Why? He's not the biggest animal, right? Not even the heaviest.
By the attitude.
The attitude, that's very true. He is not the smartest. He is not the fastest. But when he looks at other animals, for him, he sees lunch. And when other animals look at him, all they see is eater. So it's that space, the attitude that he has, the mentality that he has, because it's the same thing that you need to have. When you go out into the world, are you ready to go? Are you ready to be brave? Are you ready to have a mentality to say, I will not be looked less upon because I am young? Do not allow that to happen, because you are old enough. You were chosen. In Jeremiah 1, where it says that God knew you in your mother's womb before you came. So it's that space whereby, are you ready to exercise everything that you have, every skill that you've been given to God, and just say, you know what, I have my mentality, and the attitude that I have is going to be different when I go out, right? I love that he said something that when people look at confident people who just feel like, yes, they know who they are, people who don't have that confidence tend to think that you're arrogant, and yet you're just being you. But it's because they have not found out themselves. They have not been able to push and say, okay, fine, who am I? What am I going to do about it? Where am I going? How am I going to get there? And what are the strategies that I'm using? So it's just that space. The moment you change your mind shift to know who you are, why you were created, how you're going to get there, then your mind shift always changes, right? So how does attitude impact leadership? Attitude is always a player on your team. Apart from, yes, you getting a team of other people to work with, attitude is a team player. Like, it's a player on your team, right? So attitude, it is the advanced man of our true selves, right? So you can be maybe mad about something, or you overreact about little things, but if you had a different attitude and a different approach to how you looked at things, don't you think it would probably change the way people worked with you or the way people looked at you? Let's put it in terms of coursework. When you guys are doing coursework and you put in the groups, and then someone is not being able to do their work, or maybe does shady work, do you just lash out at them and tell them, you know what, you're not doing good work or whatever, you can't even be able to do it, what is this, this is rubbish, get out of my sight? Or just sit there, don't do anything, and what happens? You forget to equip this person. The relationship that you expected to have with this person changes. And when all these change, then they actually be able to give a different perspective. So your attitude towards them becomes negative, and also they now become negative towards you, right? So attitude, its roots are inwards, but its fruits are outwards. Because most of the time they say, if you want to really know a person, play a game with them. You know how people, if you play cards, if you play poker, if you play all these things, it now becomes something different, because people are wondering, okay, oh, okay, that's interesting. This person is like this. You know, they are silent, quiet, but the moment a game is played, they literally come alive and you're like, oh, I didn't know about that. So it's that space. Like who you are on the inside should be the same person portrayed on the outside, right? Then attitude, it is our best friend or our worst enemy. So attitude can become your best friend or your worst enemy, right? Then it is more honest and more consistent than our words. So you can be able to say something that, oh, I can get it done, no problem. But your attitude towards it and how you act becomes now the message that is given out. Because you can be able to say, okay, I'll get it done, and you're good at it. Maybe you're good at making proposals, but you don't want to make a proposal for this person. So you don't do a complete job. You just do something for the bare minimum, just so that you can actually be able to do it. And then someone had put their faith in you and knows that, yes, oh, okay, you can actually be able to get it done. So then what then happens at that point in time, right? So it is more honest and more consistent than our words. Then it is an outward look based on past experiences. How you faced through things before would be now how you're going to face them now. Your past experiences and the attitude that you had or when that occurrence happened now will be able to be seen when maybe an opportunity like that is presented right in front of you. How you're going to act will now determine how your attitude was before, right? It is a thing which draws people to us or repels them away from us. So yes, attitude will either bring people around you or will actually make people run away from you. It's never content until it's expressed. It is the librarian of our past. The attitude is a librarian of your past. It is a speaker of our present and is a prophet of our future. Librarian of our past, your attitude, who you were in the past before will actually be able to be told by your attitude. Who you are today, your attitude will actually portray it more. And from those things, they'll actually be able to tell you how your future is going to be like. So attitude is a very vital and key thing that we need to look at and say, okay, fine, what then does that mean for me as a person who wants to be able to grow in different spaces, different spheres of influence? How then do I change my attitude and how do I approach things in a different way, right? So good attitude among players do not guarantee a team's success, but bad attitudes guarantee its failure, right? So a good attitude, it's not necessarily going to tell you 100% you're going to have a good success, but a bad attitude within players, definitely that's that's a roadmap to to failure, right? So attitudes have the power to lift up or tear down. So just keep that statement. Attitudes have the power to lift up or tear down. So when attitudes go up, so does the potential of the team. Attitudes going up does not mean that now you're this person who doesn't care about the things, but in terms of how you look at things is in a much critical, analyzed, professional way, then the potential of the team gets to actually grow, right? So maybe just a question for you to actually think and just to wonder. Do you believe it's possible for a team of talented people to succeed if one or more players have a bad attitude? Anyone?
No.
What makes you so sure? Why do you believe that to be true? Just give an example.
You see, you have said so many things about attitude, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just focus on this. You said attitude determines the future. Let's just consider it on that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you were given a task.
Yes.
And you see, how do you call it? A team, it's like what? I forgot the words, the English term. but it's like tools that are helping each other to move. Let's say it that way, in that way.
All right.
So if one of the tools is not able to move, it's
Yes.
stopping the whole process.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine if one does not portray an attitude that will help you go forward, like you'll
Mhm.
just stop and stay on one stage.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else have a different view, a different example? Yes, Joyce.
Yeah. I feel like it's possible because in this world, not everyone's good, but there's still people who are able to make it despite that, as long as you know what your life goal is.
But what makes you sure that you can be able to succeed to what you expected to? Let's say you have a company, right, Joyce? And
Yeah.
you expected to make profits of maybe, let's say, 80%. And if you have different people with a different attitude, do you believe that you'd actually get to that 80%?
Okay, I really feel as long as they're determined to get what they want, then I don't know, but yeah, because we see it every day. Not everyone's gonna have the same attitude as you. Unless they're the team leader, that's when it might like be prone to fail.
But does attitude and determination to be able to do something that is not of your interest make you do it because of a goal, or is it just because of comfortability?
Sorry, I didn't quite get you.
I'm saying, does attitude
Yeah.
towards achieving a certain goal,
Yeah.
right? Does it make you do it because of, yes, you have a goal that's in front of both of you to get it done, or is it just comfortability to just do the bare minimum?
I really feel it depends on the circumstances. So yeah, that is something that isn't really certain.
Okay, I like the way you're thinking, and it's really true. I'm guessing it's just that space whereby you have you ever done something that has never really been your passion, or has never really given you joy or zeal to get done?
Yes.
And
I think most students do that by going to school. Not everyone's really into going to school. So at the end of the day, you just work because of the life goal, and you have like this attitude sometimes.
Okay.
But you still get your work done.
And I hear you. No, now, if it's a subject that you will love and a subject that you don't, which one will you work on 100%?
The one that you love, probably, but sometimes some people tend to work on the ones that they don't love so they can prove others wrong, especially if you're failing.
That's proving a point wrong, but I'm talking about you now. Let's say you want to be able to achieve success.
Of course, the one that you love.
The one that you love. So meaning the other one will actually have a different result because you've not really 100% been able to say, okay, fine. Really, it's not really where I need to go. Because I remember I was asking the question to Murphy and Obin, and I was saying, right now guys are saying, okay, right now to do biology. Like, what course are you doing?
International relations.
International relations. Okay, I think you're like Obin. So meaning there's no biology. But I'm asking, if now you're to be added
welcome, Joyce.
if you're to be added international relations, right? If you're to be added biology within international relations, what would be your reaction towards that?
Okay, I don't really mind bio.
Okay, you're a tough nut to crack. So how now do I? Okay, Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, let's say you're to be added physics. Yes.
Okay.
So now, what would be your reaction towards being added physics in international relations?
I'd feel like they just want to feel so.
They just, and would you put so much attention towards it?
Not really. Yeah, I would, but I would have the best attitude towards it.
There we go. So that's exactly the same line that we're actually talking in. Because if you do not have the same attitude towards all the other courses, there's a different level or percentage of success that you're going to achieve in something because you've not given it the same 100% that you are giving others.
Okay, but I think I'm just looking at it in a very realistic way. Like, let's say you have a job. You probably don't love it at all. You have the worst attitude towards it. And you still have to do it because at the end of the day, your family is relying on you and everything is just on you. So, of course, you're going to try as much as possible to achieve that and probably even more.
And I love what you're saying. And I'm honestly waiting for you to come to the job market and you'll get to understand. Because people people do the bare minimum. If you don't love something, trust me, you won't put 100% of it. Because as long as I've been given a task and maybe my boss has told me I have a week to do it. And the task can be done in 2 or 3 days. I will probably use that whole week to get that task done because it's not really a space whereby I have zeal for it. So I'm not going to do it in 1 day. Like as I have my potential, I know my potential and I can be able to do it in 1-2 days, I can be able to get it done, right? But I will
can't the pressure replace the attitude?
That's not really what happens. Comfortability does not sometimes bow down to pressure. Because what you'll do is you'll become a last minute person. So what you'll do is you can say, I'll prolong, then last minute is when I'll do it, and it will not be as perfected if I was to actually do it in the length of time that I was able to get it done.
Okay, I get you.
Yes. I hope I've been able to. Anyone else with a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes. Hello, Carrie-Ann. How are you doing? Welcome.
I'm good. First of all, morning, everyone. We've been experiencing a very, very bad network here. So I came late, so yeah.
We thank God you're here.
Yeah. I have 2 questions. First of all, I want to understand the difference between attitude and maybe character. One's character. And the second question is, okay, I believe that everyone wants to have a good attitude towards some situation. But then, okay, sometimes let's just give that example of you have a task to accomplish and one of the group member just did his part like very bad and you don't know how to react. Like deep inside you just want to explode and I don't know, trash him or something. But yeah, like how how do you react? How can you I don't know, how would you deal with that situation? How do you nurture that the best attitude? I don't know if you are getting me.
Okay. Now, I hope I'll be able to answer the question and what you're saying. So, just to answer the first question, then I can get into the second question. Okay. So, attitude and character are 2 words that appear similar, right? In a sense, but strictly speaking, they're different, right? Because it's because you look at it, okay, this person has this attitude, meaning it portrays their character, and you're like, okay, yeah, they're just the same thing, right? But if you strictly speak into it, they're different, right? So here, attitude is the opinion or method by which I'm using Google dictionary translation, right? So attitude is an opinion or method by which one approaches a given situation. You get that aspect?
Yes.
So meaning, if there's a situation that's presented in front of me, my attitude will be the main thing that portrays that. Are we okay? Okay, are we okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like your attitude is actually the method that will approach that given situation. So the same way how you're talking about someone in a group and maybe they're not being able to do the work and they're being lazy, what's the attitude that approaches to them? There's two options. As I was giving out the example first, you either lash at them and tell them they're nothing, they're meaningless, and they can't be able to do it. Or you can actually be able to say, okay, fine, let me show you, or let me guide you, or let's get it done together. That's how things different, right?
Okay.
With character, on the other hand, makes one to do a particular thing, even if the world is watching.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes, yes.
So with character, it makes one to do a particular thing, even if the world is watching. So
Okay.
you stay the same person that you are. So if you're a person who maybe like, for my characteristics is I'm loud, I love talking too much. And the other thing is I just love chatting with people, right?
Yes.
And being able to engage them and just, let's have a conversation. So even if people come and say, hey, you guy, you're too loud, or you guy, you talk too much, that is not going to make me now shift to try and become quiet and try and fit into what the world wants me to fit into, right? My character will still be the same. Like if I meet some people, if I get to a place, I'm like, hey, yo, guys, how you doing? Let's talk, right? If I know one person, even worse now. For me, like I'll talk to that one person until everyone will be like, I get to know them. If I don't know the people, probably the first few seconds I'll keep quiet. But the moment people open up, bam, it's just that space whereby everything works in that order, right? Then when it comes to my character, when a situation is presented in front of me, that's when my character now, my attitude is brought out. It's either, like I remember Ali where Shaban was giving out the example that I used to be short-tempered. And that's very true. When I used to play basketball, if one person just nudged me or moved or literally or fouled me the wrong way and you do not accept, my attitude changed. My character is I'm going to be loud, let's play, let's have fun. But the way I'm going to portray myself towards you, if you decide to come and defend me, is going to be different. So what will happen is I'll either foul you back or I'll play roughly. So when a situation is presented in front of you, there are certain things that just click up and just come out. So those are the two differences between character and attitude. I hope I've been able to answer.
If I understand it well, you are saying that attitude is kind of defined by the situation you are facing, and character is like it doesn't change.
Nope.
Whatever situation you are facing.
Yes. When you decide to have a character that is not stumbled upon worldly view or just what people say about you, then you get to stay on the same path. It's like you have a goal and a vision, isn't it? You want to get somewhere. You want to finish school, isn't it?
Yes.
No matter what someone tells you, you can't be able to do it. You won't be able to make it. Things are too hard. What do you say about yourself? You say, I cannot be able to make it. I am smart enough and I can work hard, isn't it?
Yes.
That's your character that's presented right in front of you.
Yes.
But now if it comes to, let's say, an exam that literally took you sideways, when you come out, the first thing you're going to be like, what's my attitude towards it? Am I going to be positive and be like, okay, I tried my best and I'm going to move on? Or I'm going to be like, that lecturer, oh my God. It only happens for that moment, and you will then go back to who you are. Your character now presents yourself and continues.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Now,
Anyone else? Oh, yes, yes.
The second question. Let me just change it a little bit. You are saying that you used to be short-tempered.
Yes, yes.
And I believe I can also be short-tempered sometimes through some situation. Yes, like how did you manage to overcome it?
Me, I'll be honest with you, there are two things that I did.
Yes.
One was pray about it. Because I knew, I knew most of this thing, like being short-tempered and just raging out of nowhere. Because even if you're Ali Shaban will tell you, the basketball guys used to call me Rhino, and you know what a rhino does the moment you piss it off.
Yes.
It will charge at you. It does not care who's in the way. It will move everything, and it will move mountains, right?
Yes.
But I had to be in that space whereby, okay, who am I going to be tomorrow? So that's one, I prayed about it. Then number two, usually what I did was I smiled no matter the situation. I try. Like, you can piss me off, you'll do it, I will smile. I will just smile and just say thank you. It's not as easy. Even today, it's still hard. Because there's sometimes when someone piss you off, but you're like, yes, thank you very much. Oh, it's okay, fine, let's move on. But it takes that habit of you to form a habit. So you just keep on saying, okay, fine, I'll keep on pressing forward. I'll keep on moving it forward. I'll keep on doing it until I actually be able to perfect it. So prayer became consistent. Two, like, remove the pessimistic, have optimistic side. So smile, because probably right now, if I kept on getting mad and always having a frowning face, I probably wouldn't look this young. I'll probably look older than I was meant to look like. So.
Yes. Now, how do you deal with that anger inside? Because I believe when you are smiling, you're like burning inside. Like, is it healthy?
So
yeah.
Find things that make you, like something that will make you tired. Like most of the time, if I get angry and maybe, because I love cooking. So if I get angry, I go cook. So meaning by the time I'm cutting those onions, by the time I'm cutting those tomatoes, by the time I'm cutting that green paper, like that cutting process will actually calm you. For me, it calms me down. Some other people decide to listen to music. Some other people decide to take a walk. Some other people decide to do, the people that decide to do different things. Some other people go play a game or go swimming or decide to just be by themselves. Because what you're trying to do is you don't want it to be the first thing that you react and just throw a punch, but you want to pull yourself back and just say, okay, fine, God, what do you want me to do in this situation? Or as Elaine or as Kirian, what do you want me to do right now? Who am I supposed to be? What character do I hold? So you don't let your body take control, but you take control of your body.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's not easy. It's not easy. And yeah, but the moment you just keep trying, I believe, for me, I believe it's possible.
Yeah.
Desh, I can see you raised your hand. You have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
There's your too low.
I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Your attitude and your character determine your success in the business life, right? So what do you do in a situation when you're going for a job interview or something and you're already pissed off or you're angry, and like, you know, obviously when you get to wherever you're going to, it's gonna reflect in whatever you're doing. Like if you're angry before leaving the house and you get to wherever you're going to, it's gonna bring out the bad attitude or the bad character in you, which can make you lose whatever you're going for. So in that situation, how do you avoid those kind of circumstances? Because I've been in a situation where I was to go get some things, but just because I got pissed off from whatever I was doing before, then by the time I was getting there, I couldn't control myself. So I transferred the aggression of wherever I've gotten off from before on the person who is actually gonna help me. Initially, I was not planning on doing that, but the anger inside me pushed. You get, I couldn't control it. So what do you do in that kind of a situation?
So for me, the first question I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to somehow take you and derive you away from business and take you into almost the relationship with Christ first. Do you have a relationship with Christ? That's the first question I'll ask you.
Yes, I have a relationship.
So if you have a relationship with Christ, it's the same verse that I'm going to tell you, Galatians 2:20, to understand that for we have been crucified and we no longer live, right? But we live through the Son who died for us on the cross. That's where you ask him to tell you, take control. Because our body, this flesh that we have, it's prone to so many things that it wants to get done. Why? In life, as a man, you will have sexual desires, you'll have lust, you'll have the desire for money. That's now when you're the spirit of mammon, you'll have the desire to be able to be superior, that's ego. All these things will come about. Aggression, everything comes about, right? But there's a peace that you get when you have a relationship with Christ, no matter what. Because I'll tell you the truth. Karianne, the same question she asked me, who I was probably 2014 and backwards is not the same person maybe who are now 2015 as I come to 2020. Because aggression was one of the easiest things that I used to go out into. You say something small, my friend, we are going to jump together. Literally, we're going to just jump. But it was that space whereby I knew that if I continue letting my body or my flesh take control of who I'm meant to be, then my character and my attitude to, okay, maybe I think my character, my personality, the person I'm intended to be, then is sabotaged as we keep on going along. So that space when you're saying, yes, you can get mad at something, and it's normal. We're all human, right? But here's the thing, the attitude that you have towards getting mad is the split second or the decision that you make that can be able to change a pathway for you. So that space you can be mad right now. Like let's say, okay, let's put it this example, right? We talk about the session should be at 9, isn't it? Desh, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. We talk about the session should be at 9.
Yeah.
So what if it gets to 9:05 and I am mad by the time everyone is coming on? I'm just like, you guys are late. And I'm mad and I'm like, and then I start teaching you. So attitude is about this. Do you guys think, do you really think you'd listen to me? It will be that space where everyone would really just want to be away and just say, you know what, okay, no. This is too toxic. Because funny enough, if I'm teaching attitude and then also my attitude is wrong, it will be the very off. All of you will be wondering, okay, Elaine, I think you should first calm down, take it easy, and then we can have this session later. But it's that space whereby what's my attitude towards things? Because I know this is my passion and I love it. So whether you come late or early, 1 or 2 people, I will just actually engage them. Let's have a conversation. Let's find out where you're going. So that's where I change the way my mind would think. I transform. So that's basically Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. So how do you change your mind shift? How do you make it understand that, okay, it's not this way that it needs to go. It needs to focus on where I direct it to go.
Also, Also,
You're a bit low. You're a bit
there was,
low.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so there was a time I think I was able to suppress the aggression and anger. Like I was actually able, and I could control myself.
Mm-hmm.
I could control myself, and I was actually okay. Then I don't know. Recently, also it's coming back. Like I easily get angry over little things. So I don't know. Is it like what I'm doing, or because I'm not doing what I used to do before, or is it like I really can't figure out why the issue is coming back? Like I've actually been trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's who I'm with or like whatever I'm doing, or it's like maybe I stopped doing what I used to do that takes my mind away from getting angry or stuff like that. So I really can't justify that part.
Well, I can tell you two things. For me, the two things that I have is I have accountability people who are in my life. Mainly I have accountability people that ranged from different things. Is it about my spiritual life? Is it about my personality life? Is it about my sexual life? Is it about me, who I am entirely? Because what happens is when you decide to think that by yourself you can actually be able to get it done, it becomes even harder. Proverbs says it, as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. Meaning, if I have a brother who's going to actually help me to understand to reduce my aggression, every time maybe let's say I'm angry, I'm just like, yo bro, I am angry and I need to do this. And they're able to speak into my life and just say, you know what, that needs to go. That needs to come down. You need to do this. So I don't decide to do that thing. I'd rather go show my aggression to someone. Like let's say I need to just speak and just say everything out. I'd rather not do it in front of people. I step away and I'm able to go to my accountability person who's not going to judge me, who's not going to condemn me, and who's not going to just throw me out. But they just tell me, hey, relax, calm down. It has happened. It's a situation, and then resonate with me to make me understand that this needs to go away. Right? And then another thing, it takes 21 days to form a habit. Researchly proven. So when you try something over and over again, after 21 days, it starts to become a habit. Yes, you might fall back a bit, but once it's a habit, you'll always remember it and actually be able to go back to it. Because a righteous man falls 7 times, but keeps getting back up every time. Okay? Anyone else with any other question before we move on? All right. Great. Let's continue to where we're from. So yeah, just the question that we're asking, and that's I love how this conversation went, and I love what you've actually brought up. It really also reminds me every day. So yeah, we're going back into attitude. So attitude compounds when exposed to others. So what do you mean? People become inspired by their peers. Maybe you can have a different way that you portray yourself, and guys are like, I love the way your attitude towards things. Maybe you can be mad and you don't lash out, and you calm and you're like, okay, fine, let's take it easy, and let's try this. And then you understand that, okay, I need to be easy. Like for me, I know in my relationship before, I used to have an attitude whereby if my girlfriend did something wrong, then I would literally jump and I'm like, hey, that is not right and everything. And it would bring a lot of fights between I and her. But when I started watching how other people act around with their spouses, or act around with their fiancés, act around with their girlfriends, or even with friends, I was like, why don't I try that approach? Be slow, calm, smooth. And I got to find that with that, my conversations with her became easier. So yes, sometimes once in a while I can forget it, but it's that space whereby I'm always brought back. When you sit down and evaluate yourself, you're always brought back. You're like, hey, this is where you made a mistake. This is what you did wrong. And also because of our mentor couple, they're always showing us, just be slow, be easy, be tender, be kind, be loving. Corinthians already tells us that. And how do you be able to portray all that? The next thing is people have a tendency to adopt attitudes of those they spend time with, right? So the people that you probably spend time with a lot, if the attitude is on a different scale, you'll actually be on that same scale. If it's on a different other Richter scale as well, it's on that scale. So the more people that you spend time with now gives you the attitude that you get to also portray. So to pick up their mindsets, beliefs, and approaches to challenges. So how people will think, what the beliefs they have, and also the challenges, how people get to approach them, you'll actually be in that same bracket. So your attitude now becomes influenced by the people that you're around with all the time, right? So maybe just a question that maybe we ask, right? Of all the people that you spend time with, who would you say has a great attitude? Don't answer it. Just take a moment to just think about it. If you want, if you have somewhere to write down that person. Just take a moment, think about it, right? Then another question is, how do you feel after spending time with them? Do you feel challenged? Do you feel, or do you feel wasted? Do you feel like as if they've added value, or do you feel like they're divided or subtracted, right? Or do you feel they've multiplied something in your life? I used to love this statement by the late Miles Monroe that he says that sometimes you see people will comment and chat and always criticize you, and it's like because usually they don't have anything to do, and then that's why you're going to find people in your life. They're either going to be fertilizer or rock, right? So sometimes when you meet people, it's not to say right now go and tell someone, yo, are you fertilizer in my life or you're rock? No, it's not that space, but you can actually see from the conversations that you have, the time that you spend, is this person multiplying, fertilizing your life, making sure that you're actually growing, or are they stagnating and they're rocks in your lives and they're just making it even heavier and heavier for you to move? So that's the space where you look at, is someone a fertilizer in your life or are they a rock? Right? How would you like to spend more time with them? Is it that now you'd want to get to understand how they do things in life, how they act, how they take circumstances in life, or how they actually work around things? So it's that space, how much time you spend with them, so that you can be able to learn something, right? So they become like a mentor for you in your life. So that's the same space that you need to look in yourself and say, okay, fine, am I influencing someone that can actually say, okay, fine, I would love to spend more time with you. I'd love to understand how you're doing things. I'd love to understand the way you portray things differently, because they too want to understand, okay, how are you able to take this? How are you able to do these things? And it all starts from how you portray, how your attitude is, how you take things and circumstances in your life. So bad attitudes compound faster than good ones. There's only one thing more contagious than a good attitude, a bad attitude. So when you have a contagious attitude, it's really easy to spread, but a good attitude, it takes time. It's the same way how they say you can climb up the ladder. It will take you time to climb up, right? But if the ladder disappears, you will drop real quickly. You don't even understand how, because of that gravitational pull. So it's same thing with bad attitudes. When you have a bad attitude, it's just a gravitational pull. But with good attitudes, you get to actually see the time, the growth, the moment that you get to actually elevate and you keep on growing. So a negative attitude hurts rather than helps the person who has it, and also hurts the people around him. There's another, usually a coaching class that I have on how youth are making decisions today and how they're making decisions of now, and to understand the decisions that they made before and the decisions that they make now portray the decisions that they will actually have tomorrow, or portray the people they will become tomorrow, or portray the friends and the connections that they have for tomorrow. So it's that space whereby, you know, if you have a different attitude than now, then people around you don't tend to attract to you, they tend to repel away from you, right? So attitudes are subjective, so identifying a wrong one can be difficult. It's not easy to just go and tell someone that, hey, you have a bad attitude without understanding them for real. So attitudes are subjective, and they can be, you know, to identify a wrong one, it can be difficult, right? But someone with a bad attitude may not do anything illegal or unethical, yet his attitude may be running the team just the same, ruining the team just the same way. So someone may not have it, and may not do anything illegal or unethical, but the attitude they have may be just ruining the team when they're working on something. So people always project on the outside how they feel on the inside. So you can have that space of where you want to work on something, but you're catching feelings, and those feelings now on the inside are get to be portrayed on the outside. So maybe someone has not done anything that you didn't want, or a decision didn't go the same way you wanted it to go. So you're not going to smile about anything. You're going to be gloomy. Then you're going to be sad. Everything is going to be able to make you feel like it's not working. And from that space, when things are not working, then you're like, okay, how am I going to be able to work on this? How can I actually be able to portray these things? Yes, Daniel, I can see you've unmuted. Question?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay. All right. I can see, I thought you had unmuted, so I thought you had a question.
No problem.
Yes. So just a question for you to just write down and just think about it. How do you know when someone has a bad attitude, but you can't put your finger on anything specific? How do you know that, right? So I just give you some attitudes that can ruin a team, right? They're not something that you can really see as much, but there's some things that will actually ruin a team. So inability to admit wrongdoing. You have that space where you feel like, no, I am not wrong, I am right. Or maybe you feel like it was not your mistake, so you're putting a blame game, you always put it on someone else. Nobody's perfect, but someone who thinks he is does not make the ideal teammate. Nobody's perfect. And I love how the Bible says that those who say that they're not sinners do not know God, and those who say they are, they know God. I love that, because the funny thing is, this world that we live in is just a sin world. It's a world full of sin. And funny enough, even in our DNA, we are actually, it's like our body just crawls and reeks for sin. But remember, we have the inner man, the spirit, that is always trying to guide us, is always trying to help us. That subconscious thought that is always telling you that's a wrong thing. Or maybe like you're about to do something wrong, and then you have this reverent fear within you. It's just like, that's a wrong thing, right? But that thing where you feel like, no, I'm right. No, I'm going to do anything. You kill the inner man and you let the body take control. But it's that space of where you're saying the body cannot take control. The inner man does, right? Number 2, failing to forgive. Holding a grudge is never a positive or appropriate. Sometimes we decide to hold a grudge for so many years. Maybe let's say someone took your pencil or broke your pencil. I remember as a kid, those are things that you would literally hold grudges for. Someone broke your pencil, and so you decide to hold a grudge for a whole week, and this person saying, I'm sorry, and you're like, it's okay, but you're like, can we play? No, but you're holding a grudge for a very long time. Like, sometimes these grudges are not necessary. They're not going to help. There's no fruit in holding a grudge over someone, right? So how then do you make it look different? How then do you say, okay, fine, it's fine, let it go, right? So who do you need to ask forgiveness from? Because I know probably it's not that, even like sometimes it's not even myself, the days I wake up and I'm like, God, I repent for all my sins, and whoever I've wronged, please show me. Because as human, you think, no, I didn't wrong anyone. But then you ask God, please show me who I've wronged, so that you can actually be able to go and apologize, so that you can actually be able to go and make amends. Because holding grudges, or maybe even making the other person hold a grudge, it's not really worth it. And mainly if you guys are working together, or are opening up a business together, or you're in a relationship together, it doesn't really help at all. Then number 3, petty jealousy. Each of us is created uniquely and performs differently. As a result, we should be treated as such. Each one here is unique in their own way. So you can't make everyone fit into one box. It's like the IQ test. It's just 9 dots, right? And you have to be able to fill it without going outside the box. But remember, you're created differently. So sometimes you need to step out of the box to be able to show who you truly are. So how then do you do that? How then do you make sure that, yes, you accept the person for who they are? Maybe they're slow and you're fast. Maybe they're quick at understanding, and then you still need time to analyze, right? Maybe they're quick problem solvers and you need time to understand what is the problem, how do you get things? Or maybe you're not a quick problem solver, but how do you two work together? You see a problem, you're able to analyze it, and they're like, okay, this is a solution 1, 2, 3. And you find that you guys actually merge together. So sometimes don't look at someone, hey, this guy thinks so fast. So every time they think of a great idea, you're like, no. Or they're like, okay, we can try this, then no. Because you want them to move at your pace. Try as much, be diverse and say, okay, fine, let's get it done. Let's see how that works, right? You might be a good analyzer. Take that idea, analyze it. What does it mean? How does it work? And actually, it works better. So another one, the disease of me. They develop an overpowering belief in their own importance. So that thing of saying I, me, myself, and I. Sometimes you need people to help you. Actually, you will always need people to help you. For as long as you have a vision that's bigger than you, you can't literally figure it out alone. If you want to be able to reach success, sometimes you won't get there. As a leader, if you're literally no one's following you, you are just taking a walk. So you need to be able to put yourself away sometimes from that and just know that there is a bigger calling, there is a bigger vision. So this disease of me, it's my idea, I'm the one who developed it, my company, my this, my money, it's not going to get you far, right? Then should be number 6, the critical spirit. When someone on the team has a critical spirit, everybody knows it because everyone on the team can do not right. So when someone on the team has a critical spirit, everyone knows it because on the team can do not. Because on the team can do not right, no right. Sorry. So how do you avoid sounding like a critical spirit when giving constructive feedback? Sometimes you feel like you're the analyzer. You're the person with the specs and you're able to analyze every little detail, like microscopic type of analysis. Sometimes you need to be able to say, okay, fine, how will this pan out to be? Your attitude will change and be like, let's figure out how this will work out. And you never knew that just change of attitude makes someone else maybe on the team feel like, oh, I'm relevant. Okay, let's get it done. Then the other one is, the last one actually, the desire to hog all the credit. When a person with the disease of me may simmer in a background and create dissension, the credit hog continually steps into the spotlight to take a bow whether he has earned it or not. We talk about those groups that we're in all the time. And we're always like, this person is not doing their work, this person is not doing this and this and this, and we have all this. But the moment maybe your name lands on that work paper or workbook, you're like, yeah, I managed to do everything. And yet you didn't even achieve anything. Because you want to be the one who takes all the credit for working. Or maybe, let's say both of you had a project to work on and then the other person wants to say, okay, fine. You've done it, but okay, fine. When you're going to present, you're like, thank you very much for all the work that I did. I don't know what I would have done if it was not for the sleepless nights, and you forget the person that really literally helped you, right? So most bad attitudes are a result of selfishness, right? And then rotten attitudes ruin everything. So bad attitudes must be addressed because they will always cause deception, resentment, combativeness, and division of a team. So just things, if they're not addressed, sorry, if they're not addressed, there are 4 things that will actually cause. So there's dissension, resentment, combativeness, and division of the team. And you guys will probably figure it out. No team will actually work under such circumstances. We always watch football or NBA. I hope I'm not choosing sports that maybe I love alone. If a team does not work together, they don't get to achieve much, isn't it? They get to that space whereby everyone is on their own and everyone wants to try and prove a point. And trying to prove a point does not actually get you anywhere. Is everyone still here? There's too much silence.
Yeah.
We are here.
Okay.
Tuko.
All right. Because you know everyone's video is off, so I'm like, okay, is everyone still here? Yeah. But yes, once in a while, please just put a thumbs up, or even just put a raise a hand, or even just put a clap. The emojis there. Like, let me not feel like I'm alone. You know, I love speaking, yes, and I can speak the whole time. But yeah, at least yes, make me understand that I'm not alone. I'm still with people. All right. That's great. Thank you guys very much. Just now, as we flow into our last part of just how we're gonna.
Can I ask something?
Yes, please do.
How do you do when someone's being selfish or having like a huge amount of self-love?
Pardon? Repeat your question.
How do you know if someone's being selfish or they just have like a huge amount of self-love?
Huge amount of self-love.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Okay. I love the question. How do you know when someone's being selfish? When you have an idea and you're trying to portray that idea towards people, there's a way that you're going to actually be able to portray it. Let me put it this way. When I came to you guys and asked you, how many of you would want to be able to do a certificate, a leadership course and be certified upon it? If I wanted to be selfish and decided to say, those who only attend and are 100% in attendance, and they're able to listen to me, give feedback, always understanding what I'm saying, ask me questions, then eventually I'm going to make it about me, right? So if I make it about me, I get to lose the meaning of why I started. Because I have a vision in terms of when I do these leadership courses, it's about empowering people, letting them understand, yes, they get a certificate to be able to show for something that they did. It's not just about word of mouth, but how else can I impact them? Is it about just maybe once in a while, how do I bring in the aspect of God? That's discipleship. How do I bring in all this? So it's not, I remove myself out of the bracket. So it's about growing people. When they ask questions, they give ideas, and I'm like, good, work on that. Amazing. You guys have done a great job. But if I'm always, that's not it. Follow my idea, follow the way I'm thinking, follow the way I'm saying. Then it then becomes about I. And because now it all becomes about I, everything is focused and centralized on me, then what happens is none of you get to think for yourselves. So it's just about me and never about you.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Great. Any other question?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a thing that's come up here. I'm not getting one thing.
You're too low.
Can
You're too low.
Tell me? Yeah. Can you tell me the difference between, I don't know if they'll go together, but the difference between integrity and attitude, like in a company perspective. Let's say you are in a company and then there's integrity versus attitude.
Maybe my question for you, just that before I answer your question, what do you understand by the word integrity?
Yeah, you see, that's why I'm asking, because I feel like integrity is something that helps us grow our value. You see, like you are the know that can trust you because you have that in you. I don't know. Now the attitude also come in. You always that guy who's positive. So yeah, it seems like they can also trust you. So integrity versus attitude. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, if you look at the word integrity is basically the practice of being honest and showing a consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values that you have in your life, right? So it's just about honesty, your values, your moral. I could say integrity is an attribute of character.
Okay.
But when it comes to attitude is based on a circumstance that appears right in front of you. Because my integrity could be, if I'm always constant here, I'm not late, and at least I adhere to the times that we set and we agreed that, okay, fine, it's 2 hours from 9 to 11, and I'm like, guys, it's 9 to 11, so when we come, you guys find me on, we have a little conversation, we start the class, at least by 11, I should be able to have finished the class. You guys tend to trust me because now I am honest, right? Then my ways with how I speak to you, I become ethical. It's not now that I tell you, oh, these are my ideas, and yet that's plagiarism. Ethicality means I tell you where I'm getting it from. It's not about saying, oh, these are my ideas, this is me. It's never about me. It's like, this is what I'm reading, and this is what someone's saying, and this is my understanding, so that it gives you the same way. But the same now with attitude, it's a different way. It depends upon the circumstance. The same way the example I gave you. What is the attitude that I have, let's say, for if no one was here on time? Right? Because when you get into the meeting, right, it shows you that host has to accept you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, if I have a different attitude towards that, do you know what will happen? I'll probably leave you in the waiting room and I'm like, let me punish you as well for coming late. So if I'm to punish you for coming late, it means that I am mad and you're going to wait. You're going to get bored eventually for waiting and you're going to leave, isn't it? Are you going to come back tomorrow? It's going to be tricky.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you see, what's my attitude? I'm like, hey, come, let's do it. Let's have it. Let's enjoy. No matter the time frame that you come in, but for as long as you get a little something, then we get to grow. The power of a mustard seed. The moment I'm able to sow even a seed, something small, it's going to bring you back next week. It's going to make you come earlier. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else with a question? All right. So now, since you've asked me about integrity, Marafi, you've put me on the spot. I have only, that's about 42 right now. I have only about 16 or 17 minutes so that I can finish. So yeah.
Okay.
So let me try and get what I needed to share done. Okay. So just the last part so that I can actually take this home. How does attitude impact an individual, right? So your attitude and your potential go hand in hand. How you take things in life and what you can be able to do in life, they go hand in hand. So if you have a negative attitude, your potential is not really that much. If you have a positive attitude, your potential actually, they're together in sync. So attitude is, as I was saying, attitude is an inward feeling expressed by behavior, right? So when our mind is positive and conducive to growth, the mind expands and progress begins. That's how you actually get to see that your attitude is different. So when your mind is able to be positive and conducive to grow and it expands, then progress begins. So attitude determines success or failure. For some, attitude presents a difficulty in every opportunity. For others, it presents an opportunity in every difficulty. Like, what's that thing that it will present to you right now? Right now, we're in the space of a pandemic, right? How do you lead in terms of adversity? Right now we're in a moment of adversity. How do you lead yourself? How do you, what's your attitude towards things? Are you just going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm done, so I don't need to do anything about it. So I'm going to forget about it. I don't need to continue. The world is ending, you know? Or how do you lead yourself to know that, okay, this is a space I'm free. Why don't I do this? If I do 1, 2, 3, then I can actually be able to get there. I can actually be able to do this. Like for me, starting to even read more, starting even to work on posters. Like I would never decide to work on posters. I'm always just like, hey, nah, I can actually get a friend to actually do it. But it's given me time to say, why not think about it? You can actually be able to do a poster, right? Apart from just doing a poster, you can actually also be able to do editing. So there's a friend who always puts up videos. His name is Q the Random on YouTube. If you check him out, he's always putting up posts on how to actually edit. And he's not doing it at a cost, he's doing it for free. For me, I was just like, that's my opportunity to learn. Why can't I? There's slow motion, there's how to add audio, there's how to edit your video into what you want it to be. And I'm like, that's interesting. Why not try that? But you see, I'm not perfect yet to start saying, okay, yeah, this is what I know, but it takes me a space at a time. He also loves DJing, and at some point in time, I was trying to learn how to DJ. So probably maybe one day I'll come here, you see DJ Alain on the 1 and 2s, kuchi, you never know. Yeah, I don't think that's possible. Yeah. Ali, don't laugh. You of all people should not be laughing. You should be saying yes.
I'm happy for you.
But yeah, so just a couple of things that we find that how does attitude help us, right? In times like this. So just going to talk about a few things. I hope I can be able to finish this. They're just a few things that we need. So number one, our attitude determines our approach to life, as we put it out, right? So we are individually responsible for how we view our life. So how your attitude determines your approach to life is because of at your individual basis, right? Then again, it will determine your relationship. So 87.5% people knowledge and 12.5% product knowledge. So if you're having a relationship with people and you're working together, remember a lot of it will actually be people related, and 12% will actually be product knowledge. And that's how you find they decide to have human resource management. Human resource, they want to be able to know how you doing, is everything okay, whatever. Companies are able to have a human resource manager that is able to just care and show love. Because why do you need that person to care and show love? As much as you want to teach these people, you want to put them in trainings and everything for them to understand the product and knowledge, they need to be taken care of. If you don't take care of them, your success percentage starts to dip. But if you do take care of them, then you get to see it actually change. There is a boom. No more recessions, there's a boom as it keeps on inclining all the way up, right? So when the attitude we possess places others first and we see people as important, then our perspective will reflect their viewpoint, not ours, right? So when our attitude places people first, we get to see them as important and we reflect their viewpoint and not ours. Then attitude often our attitude is the only difference between success and failure. Success or failure is any undertaking caused more by mental attitude than by mere mental capacities. So your attitude towards things and how you think, how you portray the attitude towards things and how you think about the things will be measurable. So if how you take things is not positively, then even how you think probably will be minimal. So there's a very little difference in people, but the little difference makes a big difference. The little difference is attitude. The big difference is whether it is positive or negative. So then number 4, our attitude at the beginning of a task. Hey, what did I have today? Woo! Our attitude at the beginning of a task affects its outcome more than anything else. All's well that ends well. An equal truth is all's well that begins well. So if you have a good beginning, then it ends well. Whatever happens in the middle, if you have a focus of where you're going, whatever happens in the middle, all these pathways and everything, all these zigzag ups and downs, but if you have a focus for where you're going, all these things will get you to end well. Number 5, our attitude can turn our problems into blessings, as I had said. Life is likened to a grindstone. Whether it grinds you down or polishes you depends upon you are made of. So in life of people who achieve, we read repeatedly of terrible troubles that force them to rise above commonplace, right? Then the last one, no, last two, sorry. Number 6, our attitude can give us an uncommonly positive perspective. The uncommonly positive perspective is able to help us accomplish some uncommon goals. That's the one. So the perspective, uncommon goals. Then individuals whose attitudes cause them to approach life from an entirely positive perspective are not always understood. They don't accept the normal limitations of life as most people do, right? So if you change your attitude, you're not going to look at, okay, fine, it's the bare minimum that I can do. I want to push myself. I want to exercise myself. I want to see how big I can actually become. Like, what's my potential? Have I reached its maximum? I remember when I was telling you guys a little example that pilots, when they want to travel from point A to point B, they don't go straight. He has to go a little higher for him to land at B. But if he goes straight, he'll actually land a little bit lower. So you find if you look at an individual for who they're just meant to be, then they'll actually be less of who they're meant to be. But if you have expectations of them higher than what they're meant to be, then this person will actually get to where they're meant to be, right? Then number 7, your attitude is not automatically good because you are a religious person. Your attitude is not automatically good because you're a religious person. A poor attitude will take us places we don't go to. We don't want to go to, sorry. A poor attitude will take us places we don't want to go to. Sometimes it can even take you completely away from the game. A good attitude outs you in places of great potential. So write this question. Describe the attitude of a person whom you consider to be an example of success. Then how does that attitude differ from his? How does your attitude differ from his or hers? Just 2 things. Describe the attitude of a person whom you consider to be an example of success. And how does your attitude differ from his or hers? And that's it, guys. That is today's lesson. Unless anyone has questions for me. Thank you, Oben, for the hands. Thank you, Kerian, for the hands. I really appreciate you guys. I clap for you guys too for attending and being with me this whole time and listening to this guy. I know I'm not funny, and Ali is usually the one who has many jokes. Ali, maybe you can write for me some jokes so that maybe when I say something, you guys can laugh as well, so that I know that I'm always in the session with everyone.
Apart from Ali, we also have Rafael.
Oh, Rafael is also good at jokes.
Yeah, Pachanga.
Ah, okay, Rafael. So you can write for me some jokes as well. Just send them out to me and I will be able to say, hey, here's a joke from Rafael. Don't worry, I will mention your name. I will not take it as my own. Yes.
So we'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. All right. Anyone with questions? Come on. Questions, please. Or is it clear? Everyone's putting thumbs up. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, interesting, nice. Docile, you're quiet. Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything is okay.
Okay. All right. I can see Meshach is saying we're okay with the teaching of the day. Thank you very much, Meshach. And thank you for coming as well. All right, guys. Thank you very much for taking time to just get to listen. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Every time that I know that I have to prepare for this class, I'm always excited and I'm always ready to actually come here. So just understand that you guys are the reason that make me actually wake up to actually do this session. So I really appreciate you. Usually Saturdays is my day off and I usually try to sleep in. But when I know that I have guys that I'm going to talk to and they're going to give me some great answers and ideas, then yeah, I love it so much. So yes, I really appreciate each and every one of you. And we shall have our last session next week. And this last session is now basically on leadership. So I'm looking forward to the next week's last session. And from there, we will know the way forward. It's not me to know the way forward. You guys are going to give me the way forward. So guys.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys very much. Let me pray for you guys and then we can all leave. Because I'm seeing people who are leaving. Let's pray first. Let's speak a blessing. Right, our God and our Father, we thank you for these amazing people. I will mention them by name. I am praying for Ali, I'm praying for Desh, Alex, Murphy, Obin, Raphael, Arma, Joyce, Docile, Bior, Kerian. I'm praying for each and every one of them, Father, just asking that you may be with them. Heavenly Father, that you may guide them, you may protect them. In this time, Lord God, Father, may they find peace beyond understanding because you are with them, Heavenly Father. So I speak a blessing over them, Lord God, Father. I speak that you give them more wisdom, Heavenly Father. I speak greatness and prosperity over their lives. I speak provision in their lives, Heavenly Father, that you guide them even as they finish off, some of them who are finishing off and ready to join the job market, Lord God, Father, that you bring up opportunities for them, Heavenly Father, that they will not struggle, but they will be able to live a life of a testimony saying, if it was not for you, Heavenly Father, they would not be where they are now. So we thank you for this session and we look forward to the next session, Heavenly Father. I ask that you may be with them. I speak a blessing over their weekend, Lord God, Father, that they may be able to rest well and also be able to do all they need to do, Lord God, Father, in time and do it rightly. So we thank you and we pray all this, trusting and believing in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a blessed Saturday. See you guys next week.
See you. See you next week.
All right.
See you, Anna, and thanks.
You are welcome. I can see some people are still here. So should I start singing?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be among the number. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Someone told me that I should not sing. I don't have a good voice. What do you guys think? Those that are remaining? All right. Yes, you are. You're welcome, Docile. Thank you very much as well. I really appreciate you for taking time to just come and attend, and still keeping on praying for you and your family in this time of need. That God actually will give you peace beyond the understanding. Yes. Thank you guys very much for taking in and taking time to actually tune in. I really appreciate each and every one of you, those on YouTube, those on Facebook, and those on Twitter. You guys are amazing. And yes, again, I'll put it out. As we come to a close of this session, if you want to actually be able to join this session as well and be able to join the Zoom classes and be able to get a certification out of this class, please leave a comment or DM me, put something in my inbox and I'll actually be able to get right back at you. So I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I love you all. Until next time, same place. See you. Bye-bye.